Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. We're just refitting this left-hand rear axle into the 120 Prado. So I thought we'll quickly run through the process with that, and hopefully we'll have a better run on this one. We'll probably make a couple of separate videos. This will be the one fitting the axle back in, and then we'll just take a quick break before we put the brake shoes and the rest of the job back together. So here we go. So once again, we're sliding the axle back in. We've got the new seal in place, new O-ring, and we've got a little bit of grease there to help seal everything and lubricate everything. So what we've got to be careful of is that the end of this axle shaft doesn't hit. There's a piece of metal in just this side of the diff that stops, I think, oil coming this way up the diff, not stops it, but reduces it. And when we slide the axle in, we've got to be careful we don't knock that out of place. So we want to sort of pretty well take most of the way to the axle. And I can feel the resistance right about there. So this is where we've got to be careful with trying to take the weight of the axle. Use your stomach muscles, of course. And we've lifted it above that. So it's over that, it's a piece of metal, it's over that now. So then we should be able to just slide it in the rest of the way gently. Okay, now we've got to lift it again to get into the diff, which we just did. Now the bolt should just go in the holes. Happy days. Okay, just going to grab those nuts. So this part of the job's pretty straightforward, as we did with the other side. Where are we? Where's the other one? Just get around there with the camera and just have a quick look and show you where those bolts are. Just doing those up by hand. Alright, just going to grab a spanner and go and tighten those up. Oh, the ratchet spanner, I think. Again, we're just zipping them up a bit for now, and we'll check the torque and make sure it's all correct at the end of the job, because we can still access all of those. That's all four of those done up sufficiently for now. One thing we did forget to do was put this little stud back into the bearing before we fit it to the vehicle, so I'll just pop that in now. Just give me a sec. Oh no, what's going on? Maybe looking at the wrong side. Okay, I'm just going to go and get some specialised tooling called long nose pliers. Just get this handbrake cable out of the way a little bit, just down towards the bottom. Just got to zip up this stud. Okay, so when you take your ABS sensor out, there's two different systems I've seen. I don't know if people mess with them or if it's standard from factory, but there's one of these two things. There's either a stud and a nut, which is what we've got in this circumstance, and I'm putting the stud into the, obviously you've got it, don't forget to take it out of your old bearing because you'll need that. So there's a stud and a nut, or the other option is a bolt. So I've seen vehicles with a bolt, and this one hasn't got bolts. Try that for a sec. Just want to make sure that's nice and tight. It was super tight taking it out of the old bearing, so it kind of appears that it got a little bit butchered, but only at that end. It was pretty well out of our control. That's what we had to do to get it out. We were going to replace it with an aftermarket bolt, but we worked out that it was a little bit too long, and we just like putting it back the way it's meant to be. So just want to make sure it is nice and firm in there before we put the sensor in the, not too firm, not as firm as it was before. We want to be able to get it out again another day, but I think that's it. So nut's still there, so I'll just pop the sensor in place, which we've just got hanging around here. So I'll just pop it in and then bring the camera in and have a look, if I know what I'm doing at all. What the hell? And what I've done to guarantee the seal is put some grease on that, not on the end of the sensor. We don't want the sensor all dirty, covered in grease, because although it's clean in there, presuming if no water gets in there, it's going to be all clean and dry. Nothing's going to stick to the sensor, but the way to keep that clean and dry is to have a bit of grease to help that O-ring. So once again, if you've got an O-ring in good condition, or a new O-ring is ideal, but a bit of grease or something thick like that will help with the seal also. So if you like, we'll come around and show you what that looks like. You can see the little bit of grease oozing around, from which is going to help seal it. Any moisture that gets around there, if the O-ring doesn't seal it, that bit of grease, if you look around the outside of the sensor there, I'll try and show you. What I'm saying is, down there, so you can see that grease around the outside there. You could probably wipe off the excess, I don't know. I can't even see myself, we can't all fit in there at once, but anyway, that's the deal. So the ABS sensor's in, the axle's in, happy days, you know. And now we've just got to have that fun job of refitting the brake shoes, and you know we love that. So we're going to go and do some mental preparing for that, because you know you need it. Right, and the next video will show you how to put that back on. Hopefully this one's going to be how to do it, not how to do it, not how not to do it. The last video was a bit of a how not to do it. Okay, all the things that can go wrong. This one's going to be how it's done. Alright guys, thanks for watching.